What's going on, guys? If you're watching this, odds are that you've got something on your mind, right? Or maybe not anything specific, but maybe you're just trying to quiet down that weird background noise in your head. Like how things should look in my life right now, or what do you feel behind on? Maybe you're just jumping around a parkour map like me to kill time. I obviously feel that. I'm not here to give you a life lecture or tell you to grind harder. And it's a pretty simple question. What if you don't need more to be happy? Like seriously, not in a you should be grateful way or not just settle and stop dreaming kind of way. Just more of what if the peace that you're looking for isn't on the other side of some big achievement, but right here actually in the middle of all this stuff that you think isn't enough. Because I don't know about you, but I feel like every time I hit a goal, I barely feel it. Like I used to think that once I get that one thing, then I'll finally chill. Or then I'll feel proud of myself. But it never plays out that way at all. And I talk about that a lot on this channel. You get the thing, but then boom, you're already looking for the next thing to chase. It's like a dog with a tennis ball that just got thrown again. Even when I've made solid progress, like hitting a lifting goal or getting a win academically or whatever, it's like I skip past the satisfaction part. I go straight back to like the dynamic of, okay, but now I need to get to this next level. And that's a complete trap, bro. That feeling of never actually arriving. It's like we don't think we're allowed to feel content until we've unlocked some mythical future version of our lives. Like everything right now is just a preseason or the loading screen for the real thing. But what if this actually is the real thing, like what we have at our feet right now? I started asking myself this a few weeks ago, and it was the question of, if nothing about my life changed, if it all stayed exactly like this, could I still find a way to be good with it? And at first I was like, nah, probably not. I need things to change and I need to level up and I need better habits, a better body, a better career path, more certainty, just more everything in different ways. But after sitting with it, I realized that mindset was exactly what was making me feel not miserable, but empty a good bit of the time. It's not that wanting more is bad, but needing more in order to feel at peace, that's a serious problem. Because that kind of peace is extremely fragile. And again, I've gone over this multiple times on the channel. It means you're constantly depending on something outside of yourself to finally give you permission to rest or to be proud of yourself or to feel worthy. And honestly, even when you do get those things, your brain just doesn't let you enjoy them. It already moved the goalposts forwards. And I think a lot of us confuse hunger with emptiness. Like, yeah, I obviously want to grow and I want to improve, and so do you guys. I want to work hard and build something cool out of my life, but if you're doing all of that just to fill a hole inside yourself, it's never going to be enough. And the weird part is that once I started playing with the idea of being content, not lazy, but content, like genuinely okay with where I was, I started to feel way more grounded. And I actually had more energy to go after my goals. Because when you're always chasing something, you're extremely tight, you're anxious, you're comparing yourself to everyone, and you're judging your day based on how productive you were maybe. And when things go wrong, you just spiral. But when you're grounded, when you're already okay, you make much clearer choices. You take your time because you don't need to force things. Or you start lifting because you love how it makes you feel, not because you hate your body. Or you study because you're building some type of future, not because you're scared of being behind. It's a completely different headspace that is much more long-standing. And I'm not saying I've mastered this at all, and that's not even close. I still catch myself constantly scrolling and comparing, and I still have nights where I feel like I'm behind in life constantly. And I still want to be further along in some areas, but I'm learning that those thoughts don't have to own me at all. Like, just because I want more doesn't mean I have to hate where I am. That mindset alone changed a lot for me. I used to think that being content meant sort of giving up, but now I see it as like a complete opposite. Being content and being able to love who you are at the moment is a strength. It's like being on a quiet street while the rest of the world is sprinting in every direction, yelling over each other about money, status, fame, followers, who's ahead. Contentment is like putting your noise-canceling headphones on in that chaos and going, I'm good. I'm still building, but I'm not starving. But like I said before, being content doesn't mean you stop growing. It just means you're not growing from a place of desperation anymore. And that's a huge difference, a gigantic one. When you're desperate, everything feels like life or death. You start measuring every little result. You panic when stuff doesn't work fast enough, or you rush into stuff, whether it's relationships, decisions, jobs, just to fill that sort of silence. But when you're content, you're not so scared of the silence anymore. You're not in a rush to fix everything at once. Like, sure, you're still moving and you're still working and you're still grinding and you're still trying to figure it out overall, but you're not doing it because you hate yourself or your life. You're doing it because you care about yourself enough to want to be better. And that's a crazy shift, as I said, and I think most people don't even realize they've been running on desperation until they finally step back from it. Let me give you a random example. You ever start going to the gym because you felt weak or small or out of shape, and then over time you still go, but not because you hate how you look anymore, but because you like the way lifting makes you feel. That's exactly what I'm talking about. The action didn't change, but the fuel behind it did, and that shift makes everything significantly more sustainable. Because when you're running on self-loathing, or I'm not enough, or I gotta catch up, it burns hot, but it burns out fast. Eventually your brain just says, screw it, none of this is working. And that's when people give up. They weren't lazy, they just were exhausted from fighting themselves all the time. And you see this in relationships too. Like, if you're always looking for someone else to make you feel whole, every connection becomes this sort of high-pressure situation. You end up putting people on pedestals, or you attach too quick, or worse, you stay in stuff that's not good for you, just because being alone feels unbearable. But when you've already found peace in your own life, you stop needing someone to complete you. You still want love and you still value connection, but it's coming from a full cup, not a cracked one. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. You don't need to perform. You just get to show up as you are. And weirdly enough, that's when you become way more magnetic anyways, because you're not reaching for something from them. You're just there, and you're present, and you're listening, and you're your real self. The same thing goes for career or school or whatever you're building. Like, yeah, you should be diligent, you should manage your time, you shouldn't just let life pass you by. But doing all that without learning how to be content is like constantly bailing water out of a sinking boat instead of just fixing the leak. If your whole drive is, I'll finally be okay when I get the job, or when I hit this number, or when I move to that city, then bro, your peace is always one step away. And that's a trap, because even if you do hit that goal, your brain just finds a new target to chase, and you're back in the cycle again. I think one of the most underrated skills in life, especially for guys, is learning how to sit with yourself and go, if nothing changed about me today, I'd still be alright. Like, yeah, I want to grow. Yeah, I want to be a better man, friend, son, whatever. Yeah, I want to travel more, love better, be sharper, mentally, physically, spiritually. But if I don't get all that tomorrow, or even this year, I'm not going to fall apart. And that's power. That is true stability. And from that place, you can go chase the next thing. But now you're doing it with clarity, with peace, and with patience, not from a place of panic. It's way easier to say all of this than to live it, obviously. Like, yeah, I have plenty of times where I felt really grounded and calm and full of perspective. And then the next day I'm scrolling or whatever, and suddenly I'm comparing myself to some dude who looks like he has it all figured out at 22. And I'm like, damn, I'm already behind. It happens because the world wants you to feel behind. It wants you to feel like you're always one product, one app, or one mindset, or one hustle away from finally being complete. But here's the truth that I keep coming back to. If you can't find peace now, you won't find it later. Because later will always come with more problems, more pressure, and more expectations. The only time you can really build peace is now. I'll end with this. You don't need to stop dreaming. You don't need to stop trying. You don't need to give up or settle. But also, you don't need to be in pain to make progress. You don't need to hate your life to want better for it. You don't need more to live fully. You're allowed to be content, even as you grow. In fact, it might be the only way you really grow. I appreciate y'all for sticking around. Take care of yourself, and remember that peace doesn't come from getting everything. It comes from realizing that you never needed everything to begin with.